Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be giving my NBA DraftKings picks for Monday, November 13th. We got a 9-game main slate today on this Monday, so a nice slate. Before we get started going position by position, if you guys could drop a like on the video, would definitely appreciate it. And if you're new to the channel, if this is your first time clicking on a video on my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. I do upload these videos daily. Also make NFL videos every week, so if you play NFL DFS, you play NBA DFS, make sure you are subscribed with notifications on, so that way you'll never miss out on any of my new videos. But yeah, guys, let's go ahead and get started today looking at some point guards. Alright, so up top at point guard today, we've got John Wall, 9,300 going up against Sacramento. Obviously a good spot for John Wall. If you want to pay up for him, I'm definitely not going to tell you not to do that. Sacramento, they're just not a good defensive team. There's definitely blowout concern here. Washington could definitely blow Sacramento out. This game could be over by the third quarter. So Wall probably might only play 25-30 minutes in this game if it blows out. But if it stays close, you know John Wall should definitely be able to return value, even on that $9,300 price tag. For him to hit cash game, head-to-head value on that price, you're going to need about 45, 46, somewhere around there for value on that price. And he could definitely do that if this game does stay close. So if you want to pay up for John Wall, I think he's definitely in play. Steph Curry is questionable right now as I'm recording this video. I'm recording this on Sunday night. I did get some news that Curry is questionable. Obviously, if Curry plays, it's definitely a good matchup against the Magic. If he is out, then obviously it's a big upgrade for KD, Clay, all those guys. I would say my guess is that he plays, but if he doesn't, you got to definitely consider Clay and KD. Like I said, they get big upgrades. But right now, I'm expecting Steph to play. If he does play, I think he's fine to pay up for. I'd probably prefer John Wall over him if you're going to pay that much for a point guard. But the matchup is obviously good against Orlando. Steph, 9,200. That seems like a cheap price tag for him. But I would prefer John Wall if I'm going to pay up that much. Damian Lillard, 9,100 going up against Denver. I think Dame's also in play here if you want to pay up for him. Me personally, I don't think I'm going to be paying up at point guard because there's definitely some good value that I like there. And also some mid-tierish guys that I think are really good options. But guys like Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, John Wall, these guys are always in consideration, so I'm not going to talk too much about them. You can pay for these guys if you want to. Same with Ben Simmons, 8,500 going up against the Clippers. I think Ben Simmons definitely in play here. Right now as I'm recording this video, I'm not sure if we have news on Patrick Beverley, if he's going to be out for this game. If Beverley plays, I would expect him to guard Ben Simmons, even though that's kind of a mismatch size-wise. Beverly's still a really good defender, and Ben Simmons pretty much plays point guard for the Sixers. Simmons has been struggling as of late. He's only put up 31 and 33 DK points in his last 2 games, but he does have a nice price tag today at 8,500. We know the kind of upside Simmons has. He has triple-double upside, so I think he's fine if you want to pay for him. Obviously, all these guys are in play. They're pretty much, like, no matter the matchup, you can kind of consider these guys their star players. But me personally, I like guys that are a little bit cheaper that we'll get onto in a second, so I won't be paying up for these guys, at least not in the core. The guy we'll be targeting today is at 7,300. Even with the increase in price, I love Lonzo Ball here going up against the Suns. The Suns are one of the worst defensive teams against point guards. They do play at a very fast pace as well. This is a game you're definitely going to want to have a lot of exposure to today. This game's going to be played at a very fast pace. Also should be very high scoring as well. So good spot for Lonzo Ball. When he faced this team earlier this year, he put up 59 DraftKings points. He got 29 points in that game. He faced them earlier, 11 rebounds and 9 assists. Almost had a triple-double. 1 assist shy of a triple-double. He is coming off a triple-double in his last game against Milwaukee. Put up 71 DraftKings points in that game. Just an insane game. 19 points, 13 assists, and 12 rebounds. This is the kind of upside that Lonzo Ball has. And going up against Phoenix, a team that's very bad defensively against the point guard, and that plays at a very fast pace. I really like this spot for Lonzo Ball, even though the price tag's way up there. He rose $500 from Washington to Milwaukee. He rose $500, and today he's up to $7,300. Saw an $800 price increase, so people might shy away from him here with the price increase, but I think he has plenty of upside in this spot. Probably not a cash game play because there are guys in that price range that have a higher floor than Lonzo, but for tournaments, Lonzo Ball has a 50, 60, 70 point ceiling. We've seen it before. He has triple-double upside. So if I'm going in the 7K range, I'm going to prefer him over guys like McCollum, Rubio. Rubio does get a revenge game against Minnesota. He probably is going to see an increase in shots with Rudy Gobert out. So I think Rubio would be the other guy I would target in that 7K range, but me, personally, I like Lonzo Ball the most there. So he is a guy I really have some interest in today at 7,300. And then looking for some other mid-tier point guards that we can target maybe in the 6 and 5K range. I think at 5,600, if Patrick Beverley is out for this game against the Sixers, definitely consider Lou Williams today. Even though his price has started to increase, he's played really well in his last few games with Beverley out. In the game against OKC, Beverley was out in that game, and Lou Williams played 39 minutes, had 49 DraftKings points, 35 points, 3 assists, and 7 rebounds. In the game against the Pelicans, where Patrick Beverley was out for that game as well, Lou Will had played 36 minutes, 23 DraftKings points. Not as good of a game, but still played a ton of minutes. So if Beverley is going to be out again today, we don't have news on that. Like I said, I'm recording this Sunday night. But if Beverley is out, definitely going to want to consider Lou Williams today at 5,600. If you are looking for a mid-tier point guard or shooting guard, he would be a guy I'd target. But one more point guard value play I like, another one of my 5 plays, is at 4,900. Mike James going up against the Lakers. Really like this spot for Mike James. He did actually play off the bench in their last game against the Timberwolves, but I believe that was because of a disciplinary issue. I'm reading this right here. This is where I found that information. There were rumblings that the move may have been at least partly disciplinary. James threw the ball at teammate Dragon Bender in the Suns' last contest, leading to the notion that the starting point guard could find himself back with the first unit against the Lakers. So I believe that was a one-time thing on Saturday where he played it with the second unit. He should be back in the starting lineup today against the Lakers. Obviously, if he's not starting, if we get news that they're going to continue to start Ulis, then that's a big downgrade for James, but I'm expecting him to be back to his full run of minutes, expecting him to be back in the starting lineup, and if he is, really good value play I like at point guard today, just 4,900. And then one more point guard I like here, 4,800, Jamal Murray going up against Portland. Really good spot for Jamal Murray. Great matchup going up against Damian Lillard, who is not a very good defender. Jamal Murray's coming off his best game of the year against Orlando, where he played 34 minutes, had 40 DraftKings points, 32 points, 1 assist, 4 rebounds, took 21 shots in that game. This is the kind of upside that Jamal Murray has when he's making his shots. He's going to continue to shoot. And coming off a really good game, he could see an increase in minutes here, especially if he's playing well again. So definitely like Jamal Murray. Looking for another point guard. I think he's a guy we can target at 4,800. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for point guard today, guys. Those are some point guards I'm looking to target. Like I said with Mike James, if Mike James continues to play off the bench, I would prefer Tyler Ulis. Whoever's going to be starting would be the guy I would target. Ulis is 3,700. If he continues to start, then you probably want to target him instead of James. But I'm expecting James to be back in the starting lineup today, so he is the guy I like from the Suns at point guard today, 4,900. But yeah, I think that's it for point guard. Those are some guys I have my eye on today. Let's go ahead and move on to shooting guard. Alright, so at shooting guard, some guys I'm looking to target here. At 8K, Devin Booker, really good spot today, going up against the Lakers. Booker has also had some success in this matchup like Ball has. Ball's played well against Phoenix. Booker's played well against the Lakers. When he faced them earlier this year, he put up 55 DraftKings points, had 25 points, 8 assists, and 11 rebounds. And Booker's also coming off a very nice game as well against Minnesota, where he put up 57 DraftKings points, 35 points, 6 assists, 9 rebounds. So definitely think if you want to target Devin Booker here, he is in a really good spot. This price tag is a little high, 8K, but he has the upside to pay this off, especially if he's making his shots. And I think in this matchup, he can definitely get 6x, 48, 50 DraftKings points is a possibility today for Devin Booker. So if you're going to pay up for shooting guard, he would be the guy I would target. Even though he's expensive at 8K, I still think he can return value on that salary. In the 6K range, Klay Thompson, 6,900. If Steph Curry is out today, you're definitely going to want to consider Klay at 6,900. He's going to see a big usage bump with Curry out. He's going to have to take more shots. So he would be a guy I would target 6,900. If Curry plays, then I probably won't be on Thompson, because in that price range, I'm either going to go a little bit cheaper. I'll look to get up to Booker. But if Curry is out, then Klay Thompson's going to be a guy I have a ton of interest in today at 6,900. And then other shooting guards we can target in that range. Evan Fournier, 6,400, going up against Golden State. Definitely a good spot for Evan Fournier today. Really like the pace of this game for Fournier. He is a very good scorer. Scoring is what he is pretty much best at. And in a fast-paced game, going up against the Warriors, a good spot for Fournier. The defensive matchup isn't that great. He'll probably see defense from Klay Thompson. But Fournier is a guy that takes a ton of shots. He sees a ton of usage. So in this fast-paced game, I think he can return value on that price tag. He is starting to see a decrease in price went from 7,200 to 6,700, and then went to 6,700 to 6,400, which is what his price is today. So if you're looking in that 6K range, Klay Thompson, if Curry is out, and Evan Fournier would be the two guys I would target there. And then 6K and under, some other guys that we can target. Brandon Ingram at 5,900 going up against the Suns. I'm going to try and get as much exposure to this game as I can today, so definitely like this spot for Brandon Ingram. He did also have a pretty solid game when they faced Phoenix earlier this year. Ingram had 33 DraftKings points, 25 points, one assist, two rebounds. Also got a steal and a block as well to help contribute to those 33 DK points. Ingram has kind of been up and down lately. In his last 4 games, he's put up 29, 31, 16, and 20 DraftKings points. But Ingram is playing a ton of minutes, which is one of the reasons I really like him today. If you look at his last 4 games, 38, 37, 35, and 36 minutes. You give me a guy at 5,900, going to take some shots, playing 36 minutes against the Suns. Definitely like Brandon Ingram today. 5,900, if you're looking in that price range at shooting guard, he would be a guy I would target. And then some value shooting guards that I like here. There is one really cheap guy that we'll get onto in a second. But guys in this 4K range, I don't think I'm really interested in any of these guys. Jamal Murray, I like him. He's 4,800. He can also play him as shooting guard. JJ Redick does get a revenge game against the Clippers if you want to target Redick with the revenge narrative. Redick has been playing pretty well lately, so I don't mind him if you are looking to go cheap at shooting guard. He is sort of a streaky guy. If he's not making his shots, he's not really going to do much fantasy-wise, but in a revenge game, he might see some extra shots. Going back to face the Clippers in LA, definitely like JJ Redick if you want a cheap GPP play that's cheap. 4,800, I like him at shooting guard. But another shooting guard that I really like for value today is 4K and under, really cheap guy. I think he's a very viable shooting guard value play today. And that's J.R. Smith at 3,800 going up against the Knicks. I think J.R. Smith's just a little bit too cheap today for how well he's been playing, for how consistent he's been lately. You look at his DraftKings game log in his last 4 games, you see 18, 25, 18, 31. You think that's not that great, but when you're 3,800, 18 DraftKings points won't really kill you at 3,800, and J.R. Smith's pretty much got a floor of that as of late, especially with the minutes he's been playing, 34, 37, 32, and 38 minutes in his last 4 games. And we know when J.R. Smith is hot, the dude will take a ton of shots. They'll get him the ball. So he has the upside for GPPs to definitely return 7x, 8x value on this salary. And for cash games, I think he has a pretty high floor as well, especially with the minutes he's playing lately. So really like J.R. Smith here as a value play. We can target just 3,800. Playing mid-30s in minutes every night. He shouldn't have a problem returning value on the salary against the Knicks. So definitely like J.R. Smith if you need a cheap value play at either shooting guard or small forward. I believe he's eligible at both positions. I think you should definitely consider him today. But yeah, those are some shooting guards I like. Those are some guys I have my eye on today. Let's go ahead and move on to small forward. Alright, so up top at small forward here, we've got 3 studs, Giannis, LeBron, and KD. Obviously, all 3 of these guys are in play. I shouldn't have to tell you to play these guys. Giannis gets to face Memphis. That's obviously a downgrade in pace. Memphis does play at a pretty slow pace. They are known to be a solid defensive team. But I think Giannis is pretty much matchup proof. You can consider this guy pretty much any day, especially when he's only 10,800. That is a very cheap price tag for Giannis. And as of late, he's been playing really well. 59, 61, and 60 DraftKings points in his last 3 games. Been really consistent. Even with Eric Bledsoe starting now, Giannis is still seeing plenty of minutes, plenty of usage, still taking a ton of shots. So definitely like him at 10-8. If I had to choose between him or LeBron, I think I'd go with Giannis. But obviously both guys have a ton of upside. Both guys have high floors. They're obviously great plays if you want to pay up at small forward. But if Steph Curry is out, then I'm definitely going to prefer to take that $1,000 discount and go with Kevin Durant. Only if Curry is out. If Curry plays, then I'd rather pay up for Giannis or LeBron. But if Curry is out, Kevin Durant's definitely my favorite small forward to pay up for today. Obviously, he's probably going to see the biggest bump in shots when it comes to Curry being out. So if you're paying up for small forward today, I'd prefer Giannis, but if Steph Curry misses, he is currently questionable. If he is out, definitely like KD the most at 9,700. But other small forwards that we can look to target here, it's a tough matchup for Aaron Gordon going up against Draymond Green. I would imagine that he's going to see Green defensively. But in a pace-up spot against Golden State, if this game can stay close, you can definitely target Aaron Gordon here. He hasn't been playing that well lately, so he'll probably be pretty low owned for tournaments. Aaron Gordon is always a guy I like to target for tournaments because nobody really plays him. He has a ton of upside, and in a pace-up spot against Golden State, I definitely think he is a valuable option. If you're looking in that price range of small forward, I like him at 7,400. And then looking at some guys in this 6K, 5K range, at 6,200, TJ Warren, going back to that Lakers-Suns game, going to get as much exposure as I can, so definitely like this spot for TJ Warren. He also played really well when these teams faced off earlier this year. Had 43 DraftKings points, 24 points, 4 assists, and 8 rebounds, so had a very solid game when he faced the Lakers earlier this year. Nothing should change here. Definitely a good spot for Warren. He's also coming off a very nice game against Minnesota where he put up 46 DraftKings points, 35 points, and 6 rebounds, played 39 minutes in that game. So definitely like TJ Warren here. If you're looking in that mid tier, in that 6K range, he would be the guy I would target at 6,200. And then some cheap guys at small forward that we can target maybe 5K and under for value. I think Kent Bazemore is a good option here at 5K going up against the Pelicans. Pelicans aren't good defensively against the shooting guard and small forward. Bazemore's minutes lately have been a little inconsistent. In his last 4 games, played 35, 26, 32, and 24 minutes. So I would say he's more of a tournament play. He has the upside for tournaments. We saw it against Cleveland, against Detroit, 44, 42 DraftKings points. For cash games, he's not very consistent, 19 and 21 also in his last 4 games. But for tournaments, he has upside to get 7, 8x salary on that price. So for GPPs, I think Kent Bazemore is a viable option today. If you're looking to go cheap at small forward, I would target him at 5K. And I think that's it for small forward, like cheap value plays. I'm not going to be targeting any of these guys. There are guys here that I've talked about earlier, like JJ Redick in a revenge game. If you want to play him at small forward, I like him as a value play at 4,800. But yeah, I think that's it for small forward. Those are some guys I have my eye on today. Let's go ahead and move on to power forward. All right, so up top at power forward today, we got the Twin Towers, Boogie and AD, 11-3 and 11K, going up against the Hawks. I really like one of these guys today, DeMarcus Cousins, 11,300. Just like this matchup for him, being matched up against the Hawks at center. The Hawks have not been good defensively against the center this year. They lost Dwight Howard, who is a solid defender, replaced him with Dwayne Dedmon. I don't think Dedmon's really going to be able to stop Boogie here. He should totally eat in this matchup. Even though he's expensive at 11-3, the dude has a ton of upside, especially lately. He's been playing really well. Both him and Anthony Davis are having great years. They're both playing really well this year. If I had to choose one guy in this spot, I think I'd go with Cousins, but you could honestly play both guys. Both of them are playing nearly 40 minutes a night. Pretty much when they're on the court, they're pretty much the only ones taking shots. So Boogie and AD, these guys are definitely good options if you want to pay it for them. My favorite today, though, is DeMarcus Cousins at 11,300. And then other power forwards that we can target, Kristaps Porzingis, 9,600, going up against Cleveland. If you want to pay up for Porzingis today, I think he's a viable option. Obviously, Cleveland has not been good defensively this year. I don't think they're really going to be able to stop Porzingis in this spot. If I'm going to pay up for power forward today, I'd probably just go to the top to like Boogie or AD, or even play like Giannis at power forward. But I think Porzingis is a viable option if you want to get some savings a little bit. He has upside to maybe outscore those guys, or at least get close to them. So Porzingis at 9,600. If you want to target him, I think he's in play. I don't really have a ton of interest in any of these power forwards in this mid-tier. Maybe Draymond Green. If Curry misses, Green might have to take a little bit more shots or at least handle the ball more. He will probably play point guard if Curry is out most of the time, so I think he's a viable option at 7,600. But I think I'm really only going to target him if Curry misses. So other power forwards that we can target in the 6K, 5K range. There are guys here that I've talked about earlier, like TJ Warren. I like TJ Warren. He's power forward eligible. I think you can target him. Julius Randle in tournaments. I think Randle's always a viable option for tournaments. Never a cash game play because he's so inconsistent. But in a game against Phoenix, Randle has the upside to return value, especially in this spot. So if you want to target a guy with upside for your tournaments, Julius Randle, 5,300, going up against the Suns. I think he's definitely in play. And then some value plays that we can target at power forward. There is one value play here that I'm absolutely in love with. He's power forward and center eligible. Derek Favors going up against the Timberwolves. Love Derek Favors today as a value play we can target. Rudy Gobert has already been announced that he's going to be out for about 4 to 6 weeks. And when he missed their last game against Brooklyn, Derek Favors did play center in that game against Brooklyn and had a monster game, put up 46 DraftKings points, 24 points and 12 rebounds, got the double-double, played 36 minutes. Obviously, with Gobert being out, Derek Favors is going to play a ton of minutes now. If you just look at his last 4 games with Gobert, 26, 20, and 24 minutes, those were with Gobert on the floor. With Gobert out against Brooklyn, Derek Favors played 36 minutes in that game, and like I said, Gobert's going to be out for the next 4 to 6 weeks, so Favors should be seeing mid-30s in minutes pretty much every night. And obviously going up against the Timberwolves, going up against Karl Anthony Towns, they're going to need Favors out there. They're going to need his size. And we know Karl Anthony Towns is not that good of a defender, so this is a really good spot for Derek Favors. Really nice price tag on him as well. Absolutely love him today as a value play. We can target at 4,600. You can plug him in at power forward. I just went ahead and put him in center, but he's eligible at both spots, which obviously makes him a very attractive option. So if you need a cheap play at power forward or center today, love Derek Favors, 4,600, going up against Minnesota. And I think that's it for power forward value. If I'm going to look to go cheap here, Derek Favors is going to be the guy I target. Maybe Julius Randle for tournaments. But I think this is definitely a position you might want to look to the mid-tier, to guys like TJ Warren. These are guys you want to target. Plug them in at power forward if you can. If you can pay up for Boogie, AD, obviously you want to do that. That's probably the preferred method for me today, is to pay up at power forward. But there are definitely value options that you can target like Favors. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to center. Alright, so at center today, I don't think it's a position I want to pay up at. Don't really have a ton of interest in Towns. Maybe Jokic at 8,400 going up against Nurkic. That is kind of a revenge game for Jokic, I guess. Nurkic is his former teammate. Nurkic did play a little bit of the season last year with Denver before he got traded to Portland. So maybe if you want to target Jokic, I think he's a fine play at 8,400. Jokic is always the guy you can pay up for. Same with Joel Embiid at 7,900. These are guys you can definitely pay up for. But me personally, I think I might be shying away from these guys. I'm either going to be paying up at center for Boogie or AD, or going cheap with Derek Favors. But in this 7K range, I definitely like Marc Gasol here at 7,200 going up against Milwaukee. The Bucks have not been that good defensively against centers this year. Gasol hasn't really been playing well lately, but he does have a really nice price tag today at 7,200. His performance as of late, it definitely reflects his price. So you are getting a nice price tag on him, a little bit of a discount. And going up against a team that really struggles against centers, I definitely think you can target Marc Gasol here at 7,200. If you're looking in that price range at center, he would be a guy I would have some interest in. Brook Lopez in tournaments, 5,600 going up against Phoenix. Definitely, Lopez definitely risky, so you don't want to target him in cash games. The minutes are really inconsistent for Lopez, but when he's making his shots, when he's playing well, he will see over 30 minutes. And going up against Phoenix in a fast-paced game, Lopez could play well here if he's making his shots. So I think he's a fine play at 5,600. He did play really well against Phoenix when they faced off earlier this year. Had 38 DraftKings points when they faced off earlier. Had the double-double, 19 points, 11 rebounds. So for GPPs, wouldn't target him in cash. But Brook Lopez, 5,600. If you're looking for another cheap center, he would be a guy I would target. And then a value center that I think you can target at 4,600, Dwayne Dedmon going up against the Pelicans. But when you're going up against the Pelicans, who have two bigs, you're going to need some size out there. So Dedmon should see plenty of minutes if he stays out of foul trouble. And when he plays the minutes, he will grab rebounds. He will get some points as well. Definitely has potential for a double-double when he gets the minutes. So at 4,600, if you need a cheap center play, I think Dwayne Dedmon's a valuable option here at 4,600. But yeah, I think that's what I'm seeing for center guys. Those are some centers I have my eye on today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you drop a like on the video. And if you are new to the